Hi guys, so I just finished reading Just by Looking at Him by Ryan O'Connell. I remember I saw this at Barnes & Noble like about a month ago, and the only copy they had was damaged, and so I was like, shoot. Because I started reading the first 2 pages at Barnes & Noble, and it was so funny, and I'm like, if you can hook me in the first 2 pages for a comedy book, I'm like probably buying it. Okay, so I went online, I got it, and then I finally read it, and it was so good. So this is the cover. And this is the back, and then this is the spine. And then inside, when you open it, it's this. This is how I read it without the dust jacket, because it would get in the way. I like never do this, but I'll do it for you guys. I'm gonna read the summary just so you know. So Elliot is a 35-year-old overpaid TV writer who works on a hit network show that makes the King of Queens look like high art. He spends his days trying to impress his Machiavellian boss and outsmart his colleagues. By night, he orders Postmates and drinks bottles of natural wine with his perfect, supportive boyfriend, Gus. On the surface, his life is incredible. Because he's a disabled person with cerebral palsy, everyone expects him to be especially grateful. But Elliot is tired of feeling grateful. He wants to have more life experiences and possess the same confidence as his able-bodied peers. So when he hears his boss bragging about a wild night with a sex worker, Elliot is intrigued. Within days, he too is spending $480 an hour for a sexy afternoon with an aspiring optician named River. At first, the arrangement with River is empowering, but as their dynamic deepens and veers into obsession, Elliot realizes that, much like with the wine he chokes down every night, River has become a form of escapism, which is taking a serious toll on his life and his self-esteem. How can Elliot learn to value himself in a world that doesn't value him? So, sorry, I was laughing because it's just like this book is so funny and I just can't. So, if you really like a funny, witty, humorous book, some of my friends didn't like the humor in this, and I was like, what do you mean? Like, this is so funny. I don't know, I just love the way that this was written. Like, I don't even want to show examples because just you can figure it out on yourself. But Ryan O'Connell is the main character in the Netflix show Special, and he also has a book called, I think, I'm Special or something like that, and Other Lies We Tell Ourselves, something like that. And he also was a writer for some episodes, I guess, of Will and Grace and Awkward and Queer as Folk, I think is the other one. And the Special show was pretty good. It was funny, but I feel like this book is just so hilarious. And I just found out last night that it's going to become a movie. And I'm like, finally, like this, I mean, this book literally just came out like a couple months ago, in 2022, in July, I think. It is so funny. It's probably like the perfect like summer book. It's not even summer right now, but it's just like, dare I say it, it's the best book that I've read so far. I think I've only read like what, like three books so far this year, and then the other stuff is like all comic books. But I don't know if you guys know, but he is the boyfriend of Jonathan Parks Ramage, I don't know how to say his name. The one who wrote Yes Daddy. Remember, I did a really short review on this book. Ooh, my camera equipment just fell. Do you guys remember this book? I did a review on it, I think in 2021. This book is nothing like Just by Looking at Him. So they have nothing in common, just that they're both gay. But this book is like traumatic, to be honest. There's a lot of violence, and there's a lot of just power power, how do I say it? Like power, I don't know. There's just a lot of power in there, and it's very violent, and it is gay. And just by looking at him as gay as well. No, but I wanted to say that I just love how the book was written. It was very well executed, I think. I don't know what it is, but this just like shows even more why I love books that are in first person. I don't know why. It is very, 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 very hard for me to get into a book that is written in third person, maybe even second person, like stuff from Wattpad was in second person with like you, like everything is you know? Like you have to envision yourself, like those Imagine fanfics. But I don't know what it is. I think the reason I love first person, and this book shows it a lot, is because you really become that reality. Like you really embrace that reality even more than the second person. Does that make sense? Because when you identify, when you're reading more as I instead of you, like you is more like they're telling you to do something to feel a certain way. When you're reading like I in first person, it's like almost like it's manifesting as your own reality, and it's almost flowing through you as like a memory. Depends on the past. It depends on if it was written in past tense or present tense of the book, but to me, that's just how I interpret it, and that's why I really resonate and love first person. It's very, very hard for me to get into a third person written book or series. I have before in the past, and there are a couple series that I really, really love that are written in third person, but those would probably be like the exceptions, and I'm not even going to name them. But it's just so funny. And then it's like, I don't know how to say it, but there's like a lot of how do I say it? There's like a lot of gay like shows and movies that are very like cringy and are very like almost like they're being forced to be like trendy, if you know what I mean. This comes off as nowhere near that. Like it comes off as pretty genuine, especially because he lives in LA, so it's like super easy to, you know, tell a story in the gay world, blah, blah, blah. But I really hope that it gets translated correctly on film, because a lot of the things, I have a lot of problems with funny things being translated to film, being very cringy and very cheesy. Like for example, inner monologue. So when there's like funny inner monologue for a main character, like in this book, this is a perfect example. Certain things, like certain phrases and quotes and dialogue just doesn't get translated well on film, especially if the person is just being like, especially if their voice is just being heard. Meanwhile, like B-roll is going on in the film. Does that make sense? I don't know of any film or any like TV show where it's like actually truly genuinely funny. Because like inner monologue is for like books. Unless they cut to like, I feel like the only way that inner monologue could be funny is like if they like pan the camera to that character and then they just show maybe like a cutscene of them like saying that inner monologue in another setting or something like that. Because when you just hear the audio of their voice on top of the B-roll of the inner monologue they're trying to comment on, if that makes sense. I don't know what I'm saying, but it just always comes off as like so cheesy. Like the jokes do not convey correctly. No matter how good the actor is, like I really don't care. It always comes off as cheesy, and it always comes off as like very corny, and I'm like, this is like very like hard to watch. I don't know how to explain it, but I'm pretty sure a lot of you know exactly what I'm talking about. But it's just like inner monologue is very, 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 very hard to translate on cinema. It's almost like just don't even do it in the first place, because it's just like cringe, and it's just like meant to be left to, I don't know, the books. Just leave it to the books to be funny. And then the cinema, like the film, like you can do whatever else you want to be funny, if that makes sense. Like, make the whole movie funny, but don't even include inner monologue, because it just comes off as like very dumb, to be honest, and just like very fake and very try hard, and I just like don't like it at all, because it doesn't translate well. Like, I don't know how else to describe it, but it just doesn't translate well to me. So that was just by looking at him, and I honestly can't wait for it to be a movie. They already have like some of the cast, from what I read in an article last night, they already have some of the cast already lined up. So maybe it comes out next year, maybe even the end of this year. I don't even think so, because I don't even know if they would start production yet this year, but I hope it's funny. Like, we do need a very, very funny, like gay movie, and one that's like genuine and not like trying to be trendy, or trying to include like everything to make it all I don't know, a movie that everybody in the world can love, you know? Like, do you know what I mean? Because like movies these days are like trying so hard to make everyone in the whole world like the movie, but it just doesn't work, because it feels very try hard and it doesn't feel genuine, because you're trying so hard to make everyone like it that it just comes off as like that was the whole point of the movie, when you completely took away the whole point of the actual movie, which is very unfortunate, because this is just like the day and age that we live in, which literally sucks, because like, when are we gonna get funny movies again? When are we gonna get good movies that are like truly genuinely funny, or truly genuinely good, not trying to make everyone in the world happy about it, and like have it be a movie for every single person? Like, do you know what I'm saying? I think you know what I mean. Yeah, it just comes off as very forced. And once again, I'm not against obviously making movies that are for everyone, but it's just like, not everything is for everyone, and you can't make a product or a movie or a book for everyone, because it just doesn't work. It's impossible. Everyone is so different, and even if you think you made a movie for everyone, it's not. Like, you tried, and then you just made your movie so terrible, and that's all your fault, because you're trying to please everyone. I would never ever do that. Like, I could never do that, because it just takes the art away, and it just takes the whole point away of the like the creative process of like the point of the movie or the point of the book. I'm rambling, so I'm gonna stop. So I would buy that book if I were you, because it is so funny. And if you really want to read a book that is like gay, or just has romance, I could even say it's kind of a coming of age book, even though he's an adult the entire time. It's kind of, he learns a lot of things, and it was very very insightful for me to read it, and I really enjoyed it.